Hey, Tony Gaddis here, just popping in. Now listen to me. Somebody sent me this thing. What was it? About the young lady. I think her name Drea Michelle with the basketball player. I think he on the Houston Rockets. Now see, I used to work for the Houston Rockets as the team life coach. Now had he been there when I was there, he'll be getting the earful. But listen to me, we talk about these age gap relationships, and you always have exceptions to the rule and things of that nature. But sometimes you have to look at it case by case. And one of the things, and this is why I tell y'all, you really got to talk to your sons, your daughters. I was talking to my 16-year-old today. If you go on my Instagram, you see me putting his little food he be cooking. He think he a dietitian, nutritionist or something. He like to, he count his macros and get his protein and he do all the studying. And so he cut him a little protein and carb and all that tonight. And he was talking to me. We were in the Uber going to get manicures and pedicures. Listen, well, real men could do that too. The reason why we did it because my wife normally cut our nails and we by ourselves. And I noticed when I cut my nails, they grow back real jagged. So I guess I'm cutting them the wrong way. And I know if I don't know how to do it, he don't know how to do it. So we went, had the ladies do that. We didn't do the whole situation. I don't do the cuticles because sometimes they give you an infection or something. Never had one, but they be cutting too much skin sometimes. Like, got me bleeding, man. I mess around and touch some germ, get in there, bacteria. Now I got to get my whole finger chopped off. I said, man, I'll just clip the nails. I don't want no cuticles cut and all that. And so here we go. We in now my son had a Caucasian lady. The lady that was doing mine was uh she looked biracial. But my thing is, in Florida it's mostly Asian women. And so the lady was like, you don't want me to cut a cuticle? No. It ain't enough of y'all doing this. I don't trust your abilities. Maybe next time. Anyway, neither here nor there. But my son was telling me, he said, Dad, my generation is so lost. He say the girls my age, he said they have no morals. He said they have no morals. It's all about just getting bodies, 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 bodies. And they happy about it. They bragging about it. And he just was telling me about just how lost the generation is. And me and my wife, we keep him real close. I give him a lot of game. When I first started giving my son game, he was 9 years old. And I remember he said out his mouth, he said, okay, Dad, that's enough. My stomach is hurting. But I'm that real, with my children. Now my youngest, he a little more innocent. He know a lot, just from being in the world and, living. And then at YouTube, they gonna pick up stuff. But my oldest, he was a little more adept. And so we was talking about this. And then when you look at this situation, like with this young man, I'm gonna tell you what this situation is. And it's not the same across the board. But in this situation with him dealing with her, it's one of those things of like when he was in high school, she was popping and she was with the celebrities. And the crazy thing that men do is they like to sleep with a validated woman, meaning that other guys done slept with her, like other celebrities or other honchos or dope boys or whoever they look up to done dealt with her. It's like, okay, now she got like a verified badge. It's like, oh, such and such dealt with it, such and such. But see, what the young boys don't realize is that them older women like that, that's in the industry, they done been around the block. They know the game. They done been played to no end by men they age. And so now they go and they'll talk to a guy. He could have shot his shot at her. It ain't that necessarily she went at him. He could have shot his shot at her. Now when them bills is billing, and I think she probably makes some money. Once you're in the industry, you kind of always could put your hand on some money some kind of way, but probably not to the level. And he making money. And the thing about it is what these young men don't understand, because I'm seeing it happen to a lot of young men, and that's why you got to really give your son the game, because your son is going up against Jezebel spirits and vice versa. People say, oh, well, people don't say nothing when men do it. I do. You look at my videos, I talk about the age gap and the stuff you got to watch out. If it's pure and organic, okay, God bless you. But it's rarely that. Majority of it is always a play in there. The older person is typically playing on the younger person. If it's 10 or more years apart, that's the average. You have exceptions to the rule, but again, the rule is the older person is typically playing, manipulating the younger person, re-raising them, getting over on them by running game they've never seen. On the flip side, the younger person a lot of times has a inferiority complex. A lot of times it is a woman looking for a father figure, or it is a man looking for a mother figure. They feel like older is better because they equate age with wisdom and maturity and stability. So in essence, what they don't realize is they're almost in a dependent state, and they're saying, I want to be with someone older because they have their stuff together, and people my age don't have their stuff together. And that is flawed at its core, because if you are your age and you think you have your stuff together, then there are other people your age with their stuff together. And just because someone is older does not mean they have their stuff together. What it means is they know how to talk better. They know how to work the room better. They know how to maneuver better. But it's a lot of people in their 50s that still cannot touch $10,000. It's a lot of people in their 50s and 60s that still cannot touch $5,000, still cannot touch $1,000. Just because you older don't necessarily mean that you have it figured out. We all human, we still learning, we still growing. So older doesn't mean wiser, it means older. Wisdom can be gotten at as a youth, because wisdom is about you being open to learning and you seeking God and you asking for wisdom. So now here you got this young man, he go and he get between that thing, and she know tricks that the young ladies he dealing with, they don't know them tricks. She know how to say things and touch things and do things that he ain't never seen, he ain't never felt. And then one thing about these young men don't understand is they don't understand about spiritual warfare, and they don't understand about that Jezebel spirit. And if you ever get around that spirit, for a man, I'm gonna tell you, like, I the women who have the spirit know they have that spirit, but they also know what men to stay away from. They know what men is gonna recognize that spirit, and they know what men is gonna be deer in headlights. So the women with that Jezebel spirit, they stay far from me. Like, they really, I don't know if it's just because they be done listen to my video, or they just could look at me and tell that I know that spirit. But I don't have no issues with Jezebel spirits. Don't know Jezebel spirits approach me. As a single man, as a married man, as an engaged man, there's no Jezebels in my DM. I know a lot of guys think that I do what I do to get women or what have you, but there are no women in my DM shooting no shot. They stay far from me. To God be the glory. But even if they came, that's a test I'm already ready for. I'm talking to the Lord about that every day. But there are certain levels of that spirit now that it could trip anybody up if you not prayed up and walking with the Lord. And the young lady, she got that spirit on her. And but it ain't even just about the spirit. It ain't even about the spirit. It's also about societal constructs. A lot of people don't understand societal constructs, and people don't understand the beauty constructs. So when you've been fed that this certain particular look, that this certain shaped thigh, this certain shaped booty, this certain shaped breast, this certain type of stomach shape, this certain skin color, complexion, hair length, hair texture, when you've been conditioned by the majority of the movies, majority of the magazines. That image, if you accept that image has more power over your life. So this two women can touch a man, like touch him, like rub down his arm. The woman who has the look of the movies and the magazines and colorism, what colorism has given us, and this why I have to virtually slap people in the mouth because they look at my wife and she lighter skinned, and what most people don't know, my mama is lighter than my wife, and people think that they be thinking, oh well, you picked a light skinned wife, but if you know my story and you know me, my preference was actually darker skinned women. My ex before my wife, who I was engaged to, was my color, if not a shade darker. So, and it wasn't just a racial thing, it just was something that if what I was attracted to. And also, I was conscious of, because I'm from the South and I'm from Florida, and so I was conscious of slavery. I was conscious of field blacks in the field and blacks in the house. I was conscious of colorism. I was conscious of those things. So I wasn't looking for someone that people will assume that I chose them because they lighter, that mean they better or they whatever. I was consciously, but then when I met my wife, even though she didn't meet my preferences in her build, in her color, in her, I was even picky about last names. Like if a person had a certain type of last name and her last name failed the test, it like she didn't meet my preferences. What she met was my standards, and she still was attractive. I could see her beauty, and it was like natural beauty in the sense of she didn't wear a bunch of makeup. She really didn't wear makeup on a day to day. She put it on like going on a date. And then she didn't have like super long nails. She got her nails done. She got her eyebrows done. And then her hair, it was clean. And she wore her hair. She didn't wear weave. And so I like the fact that okay, she doesn't have on weave. She back then I don't think lashes was a thing. I couldn't see nothing artificial about her in a way that was unrealistic. Yeah, she had a nail, she had her eyebrows arched, but I didn't count that as artificial. So I was like, she is bare bones in her beauty in the sense of, no lashes. Back then I don't think filler and all that was in. Like she didn't wear weave. So it wasn't like a head of hair that could never grow out of her scalp or that just wasn't realistic. And so I was like, I could be attracted to her when she going to sleep and then when she waking up. So anything she add to this, it's just gonna be a bonus. But more so than that. So I'm like, okay, she's attractive to me, but I love her conversation. I love her spirit. I love where her mind is at. I love her ambition. I love her responsibility. So all of those things mean more to a man when he looking for a wife. But see, the problem with like these young men that's getting finessed today by these older women is they are what I call porn babies. And so what I mean is these young men is starting to watch porn. These young men was raised on porn. See, if you notice, like older men, like when I was coming up, I think porn was like on a VHS. You had to have a VHS. You had to have a VHS tape. You had to have the VCR, and you had to have like freedom, like cause you coming up, most people ain't got no TV in their room when I was coming up. So the TV is in the living room. The VCR is in the living room. So you got to get that tape, and you got to be bold enough now. You don't know when your mama coming home. You don't know when your daddy come home. And yeah, you think they get off at 5 o'clock or whatever time, but they pop up sometime. So I remember being at my cousin's house, and his daddy had a drawer, a nasty drawer with VHS, nasty VHSs, and nasty magazines. He just opened the drawer and showed it to me. We never popped it in because we didn't know when his mom and daddy was coming home. So we never watched it. So my whole life growing up, and I remember I was somewhere. I was with my cousin, and she turned gay. And when she turned gay, there was an older woman, I think, that was courting her. That was probably 10, 20 years older than her. And so we went over to that lady house. I didn't know at that time what lesbians was. I didn't know what it was. But as I look back, as I got older and learned what a lesbian really was, I was like, oh. And then when my cousin came out, full fledged lesbian, even though she had already had 2 kids from a man, she switched over to women because her husband punched in the eye. I think that sent her over there to the women. When she came home with that black eye, and she hadn't got bop bop beep beep, it was women from then on. And a lot of my female family members, after they got bink binked, they went to the women. And I had one male cousin went to the man for whatever reason, I don't know. But I go over there, and here go this young man, he there, and I didn't know what gay was at the time either. So we sitting in the room, and I could have been 10, 11, 12. I I know I went older than that. I probably at the most was 12. And we sitting in the room, and I remember he had a TV in the room, but it was like black and white. And it was like the little lines that the little raggedy squiggly lines, and it's like it go up the screen, and like you could see a picture behind it, but you can't really hardly see the picture because it's black and white, and them lines keep going up. I don't know if anybody know what I'm talking about. The old school now. And so it was an old TV, and we already in like the early 90s. So it probably was 94 to 96 or something like that. So, and he had a TV thing, looked like it come from the 70s. And so we sitting in there, and in my memory, I remember it being like a nasty movie on there, like either a nasty channel, because they used to have certain channels that it'll be little nasty stuff on there. It could have been back then where you turn the knob, and you get down to a certain channel, it'll be little nasty stuff going on. And something was on there, and I remember he was talking to me, and he said, yeah, he was like, yeah, do you master? He basically he was asking me, do I jack off? I don't know the term he used. And then he said, you see them bumps in your face? So I must have been by between 12 and 14. He said, you see them bumps in your face? I had a little acne. I said, yeah. He was like, well, if you masturbate, them, he say the reason why you got bumps in your face is because cum is all the way up to your head. So he say that's why the bump got white stuff on it sometimes. He say, but if you masturbate, then the cum go down, 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 down every time you masturbate. This is what he telling me. Now I'm very astute. I'm very smart. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this fool. I'm like, this man, and what he was trying to get me to do is he was trying to get me to pull my thing out and to jack off with him. That's what he was trying to get me to do. Now, guess what? Men who claim to be heterosexual, they sit around and they watch porn together. Cause I remember my teammates in college. I went in their room. I had two homeboys. They had the TV with the VHS on it. They start making the TV with the VCR on it. They had the TV with the VCR on it connected, and it was 13-inch, and they had the VCR porn. I don't know if they brought this from home. And I remember going in there one day, because I just popped in there. I don't know why I popped in there. I think I was trying to show off, because I used to keep me a woman in at my dorm room, and they used to just hang together as guys, but I was always chasing me a woman. And so I pop in there just to look, just to show off. Hey, y'all about to go with her, y'all. And so I popped in there. They sitting there watching a porn. If you watch my videos, you done heard me tell that story. And I was just perplexed. So I seen at that time, and then the other time, I can't remember if something was on TV, but I just remember this guy telling me this. And I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I said, no, I don't do that. I said, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. He was like, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you the truth. Now, I didn't at that time, I was so young, I didn't know that he was gay at that time. Now, I ain't know him I didn't see him from that day forward, and I can't look back. But when I look back and just hear his mannerisms and just hear his voice as an older man, I'm like, oh, that boy was gay and was trying to turn me out. But why did he get turned out? He probably got turned out from the gay lady he was living with, because when back then, because I had an auntie that went gay, went lesbian, and I remember under her bed she used to have a bunch of dirty, nasty magazines with people giving people oral, on the woman. And I remember me and my cousin getting up under the bed and flipping through it, and she was showing it to me. It was her mama, and so I'm like, okay. So that's the couple times that I had run-ins, but it literally was 5 minutes or less. So I never ever like got, and when we got cell phones and we all that, I never got like a video or a subscription or like a tape or anything. Like I was more concerned with the real thing. Like I want to see some myself with my eyes. I want to explore. I'm not finna sit and look at no screen and touch myself. That just never made sense to me. It just didn't make sense to me. Yes, it probably was safer physically than going out there and doing the real thing, but it had a different psychological effect on guys because it was easier to get addicted when you just could have that instant gratification. So I never was into that. But that is the issue today. That's why these men that's 40 plus not married, because they porn babies. They addicted to the porn. Now they ain't grow up with it like that, but it came around and was very digital for what? Not like the last 10, 20 years. And so I remember being on the phone on a coaching session, and I'm coaching this young lady. It wasn't a paid session. And how she connected to me and reached out to me, it was through Twitter or something like that. And so she said, yeah, I'm in the porn industry. I was like, oh, really? I was like, okay. And I was like, well, what's your name out there? And she said, my name is this. I Googled it. And when I Googled it, a video came up on Google and just started playing. So I never forgot that to this day, that there was a time on the internet. I don't know if it's still the same. I don't Google nothing like that. And the reason being is just because of cookies and stuff popping back up and all of that. You got to have discipline and self-control and some morals and standards as a human. And so now you got women watching porn and playing with themselves, men watching porn, playing with themselves, and then people wonder why these relationships so jacked up. Never in a million years should you have no boy, young as that boy in the NBA, with a woman old as that woman is. And she not old, but they like probably 18 years apart or something. How many of a year? 12? I don't know. But that never should be the case. But the thing is, she need a check. She need to stay in the lifestyle. And yes, she could get out here and make money on her own, but it's hard. It is hard to be an entrepreneur. And I talk to so many women who are entrepreneurs, and I've heard so many times, Tony, I'm tired. Tony, I'm tired. Now, we get tired as men too, but we kind of built for the grind. We built for the hustle. So, we get turned on by the grind and the hustle. But women most women want to rest in their feminine. So if they got to go out and hustle every day, that's why most women, if they work a job that they know that check coming every 2 weeks. They know the benefits, the health, they know all of that. It's not a lot of women that on average that want to go out and just hustle and grind and be an entrepreneur every day. That's a different type of woman. She's more rare than she is common and average. And so if you go ask 10 women what they do for a living, nine of them gonna have if they work, 10 working women, nine of them gonna have a job, a regular job. You gonna have one, maybe two, that is a full-time entrepreneur, because it takes a different part of your brain, and men and women not wired the same. So although this young lady got like a swimwear line and it may do okay, but it's only gonna sell in the summer because she's selling to black people, and she not built like the average black woman. The average black woman got more shape than her, more body than her. So her bathing suits really don't even fit her demographic, because the average black woman gonna have her derriere. You know, this woman here, she more almost petite. Like, yeah, she can have a little bit of meat, but it's not common. That build is not common. That's common if you like, for her it look genetic, but that's common if you really in the gym, you going hard. And so this what a lot of people don't realize. You start that business, boom, when you drop, you gonna hit. But let that quality go out. Let that bathing suit go out, and that quality ain't that good. Black folks ain't gonna spend their money with you again. So you could be a one hit wonder. And then let's say you make millions, but you're tired because you got to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Why you think Sears and Macy's and Toys R Us and all these different major brands that seem too big to fail had to go out of business or close a bunch of stores? Because you got to keep reinventing yourself. You got to keep doing it. So for the average woman, that is stressful. It's draining. It's hard. And but for a man, it's different. So this young lady, a lot when and I'm using her as an example, but you just got to look at the mindset, the spirit, and everything, and you're gonna be able to see this. You'll see this in different ways, like in your own neighborhood, in your own community. It's it, if somebody have had hard times in their life, which she has, and she struggled, and I know I'm in the industry, so as a life coach, so I know way more than I could speak on just out of client confidentiality and all that. So a lot of times people think I be on here just talking and gossiping, but I know way more than I could speak on. So I be coming from a different place, but I can't spell everything out because I'm not a gossip blogger. So I'm not on here to tell people business, but you know, she done went through hard times, and when you done had hard times and you know how easy hard times is to come, and then you meet you a millionaire, you finna forget about that age. You finna forget about that age. As long as he gonna treat her right, and the reason why he gonna treat her right is because she built like his favorite porn stars. She built like his favorite porn stars. So now he get to sleep with a woman that is not a porn star, but she looked just as good and just as fit as any porn star that he could watch. So now he get to fulfill his fantasies, and he also get to feel like he is touching what these other celebrities that's way bigger than him have touched. Let's say like a Chris Brown or something, you know, or whoever it was. Like these other big celebrities have been a rumored allegedly done walk down, you know, that road before. And so these guys like that. Now the other thing what you got to look at with certain situations is it's all a lot of people are, oh, she praying on him, praying on him, praying on him. It ain't that she praying on him. Like, yeah, she know tricks and games and stuff that he don't know, but he want that. He want that. He lining up for it. He a grown person. I think this is the boy too. He got some suspect stuff out there online. So she honestly could be a beard, is what y'all call it. Like she could be a cover up. He could be one of these gentlemen that is bi-curious or bisexual because he paint his nails. Now he paint his nails. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be a cold day in Satan house before you could convince me that a man who paint his nails don't want him no piece of booty hole from a man. I just can't. The lady came today. We went in there to get our manicures, pedicures. She gonna pop round the corner. She said, "Do you want any color?" I said, "What? Huh?" I ain't even hear the word. It was like, "Did you speak in French?" I said, "No." She repeated herself. Then my son said, "She said color." I said, "No." But then I realized I was like, "Oh, that could probably be offensive because they probably have like gay men coming in here and getting them some color." And then because of some of these athletes, the boy who play on Duke basketball color his nails. I think Drake color his nails. Then I think this young man that with this young lady, color his nails. And so, somebody, well, not somebody, a lot of y'all done sent me this, talking about, Tony, speak on this, speak on this. But this is what you got to look at. Not everything applies across the board. On average, a younger man with an older woman is simply, well, on average. And listen to what I'm telling you. That's why I get tired of people in the comments who don't listen to the video. We're not talking about exceptions to the rule. We're talking about the rule. On average, when a younger man get with a much older woman, meaning 10 years or older, it is for the same reasons that a younger woman get with a much older man. It is for stability. It is for a parental figure. And one other little caveat with the man is it is for a notch in the belt. So as men, we kind of have this vivid mind. That's why we visual creatures. So we have a vivid mind. So as men wonder if a woman who 10 years older, what her thing look like. Like, do it have wrinkles? Do it have gray hair? Do it have, you just don't know. You just don't know. Like, is it bigger? Is it better? And so this curiosity, that's why the quote say curiosity killed a cat. It's not, and every time I mention this, older women get so upset with me because I'm telling them the truth, and you just don't like to listen and hear the truth. A younger man can think that an older woman is attractive, but thinking someone is attractive and being genuinely attracted to them is two different things. So if I was a single man, and any single man, and think about this, we could see that Jada Pinkett Smith is attractive. And we could see that her mother is attractive. We could see that. We could see that Viola Davis, she might be in her late 40s or early 50s. We could see that she's attractive. We could see that Naomi Campbell, Jennifer Lopez, whoever, we could see that they are attractive. And a lot of people that have insecurities, when I'm mentioning people, they take their insecurity and they say, do I look like this person? Am I the same complexion as this person? If I mention light-skinned women, dark-skinned women get mad if they insecure, not realizing I'm not saying that I'm attracted to these women. What I'm not saying this is my preference. I'm mentioning the names that society force feeds us through the media and the magazines and the movies, the ones that we see the absolute most of. That's what I'm mentioning. But you got to have common sense, and you got to listen and get out of your feelings. I did an interview with this channel, and there was this lady on there. She had a wrap on her head. She was dark skinned, and she was like, Tony Gaskin needs some more knowledge because he done said some wild colorist things, all this and that. And it's like, when I'm talking, I'm explaining the dynamics of our world. I am addressing the reality of our world. It ain't my opinion. It ain't my thing. Like, if I mention beautiful women, that's based on not who I think beautiful. Because me personally, I'm not attracted to Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm not attracted to her mama. But I know beauty constructs and the standards of beauty will say these people are attractive because this is what we shown in the movies and the media. That's how Jada Pinkett is an actress. But at the same time, think about it. Go through Denzel movies. The only movie I can think of, well, he got Fences, where I think it's with Viola Davis or somebody like that. But a lot of his movies, like Equalizer and Man on Fire, he used like a racially ambiguous looking woman, like a, I don't know if it's a Eva Mendes, I don't know the name, or if it's like a Paula Patton. He'll use that, and I remember, and I can't even say everything that I know from the industry, but I remember coaching a woman who was black and white, and she was up auditioning for the lead in a Denzel Washington movie. And she told me some stuff, and all that I can't repeat on here just out of respect for people fantasies and ideas about people that they worship in the media. It ain't that time for me yet. And then I also don't know if it's 100% true. Now she told me in confidence in a tell-all book recording, so, and we never published the book. And so I don't think she would lie, because she definitely wasn't rolling in no money, making no money, getting to no money. She was telling her story about this here industry and how stuff go down. And so a lot of people don't understand that when I'm talking, you have to remember that I am a teacher. I am a messenger. I am a voice. I'm not a personal vlogger just coming on here with personal opinion. I'm a professional, and this is what I do professionally, what I'm paid to do for over a decade and a half. So you have to check your insecurities at the door and listen to the message to seek to understand. So that way you can get it. So on average, when a younger man go with an older woman, what he doing is he trying to get a notch in the belt. He trying to play on her credit. He trying to live with her in her house. He trying to drive her car, and he trying to break her bike and eat that thing right so that she'll cash out some of that 401k to invest in his business idea. That is on average why younger men go with women 10 years or older. The reason why this young man is with this young lady is totally different, because it's a unique situation. And what I'm going to tell you that I believe it is her energy and her aura seduced him to a place that it put him in a trance that he really don't even know what hit him. And I have been around those women in the industry as a professional, not to where they coming on to me. Nah, it was one that came on to me, but what's up? Train starts at 7:30, right? Yeah. What time is it now? 6:53. Oh, okay. So you probably ought to call by at least 7. Yeah. Okay. And it was one that came on to me, and she was like, she told me, she said, my psychic told me you and your wife having problems and that you gonna be my husband. Now what she didn't realize is that me being nice to her, me coaching her, me helping with her book, I'm just a nice guy. I think she misread that as me flirting with her, that I wanted her. But again, that's where you operate from. So when she said that, we was on Skype, and she's a celebrity. And I said to her, I said, well, your psychic lied to you, because me and my wife doing perfectly fine, and I would never divorce her to go be with another woman. If I love my wife, it'll be because of something she did to me, but it would never be to quote unquote upgrade or go to another woman. And then what this young lady didn't realize is she was operating from a Jezebel spirit, but she didn't have the spirit on her. She more so felt like she played baseball in the sand lot. Like she would have been one of them girls, you put a ponytail and a hat on, and she could have been out there in dirt and mud playing baseball, but was very pretty. And so that's the thing, is like some women don't have what they think they got on them. So it wasn't doing nothing for me. But I done been around women who got that spirit on them and they ain't even trying. And that spirit just will have you'll go to sweating. You'll go to sweating. Like not necessarily literally, but like you'll go to sweating. And a lot of people don't understand that spirit. It is very, very powerful. If you don't understand the spiritual world, like you could be around a woman with this spirit and your body may start to react. Like you may start to tingle. Like in your pants, you might start to tingle. That thing might get ready to stand up. And it ain't no touching, it ain't no sexual conversation, but some people have been inhabited by that spirit. And I would imagine that it's men like that too that got that spirit on them, that when a woman get around them, she go to getting weak in her knee. I would imagine. I probably have been around that spirit probably at least about 5 times. It's not as common as you think. It's not as common as you think. I have clients who got that spirit. I got clients who got that spirit, and that's why I have to keep my distance. I have to keep my distance, and the Lord authorized me to help those that people judge. And so a lot of people think in the industry, a lot of people think I'm arrogant. They call me arrogant, they call me mean, they call me rude. What they don't realize is that behind the scenes, when nobody looking, I'm helping the most wretched, is what they'll call themselves, the most lost, the most judged, the most broken, the most criticized, and people will judge me. I got clients that's celebrities, meaning with millions of followers online, that I cannot follow back. Somebody the other day, she was like, Tony, I heard you. She commented, Tony, you said on an interview you don't follow women. And I didn't used to follow women. I only followed my wife. But what happened is I started having so many women. Why you only follow your wife? Why you only follow your wife? And then people started to think it was like a ploy or a play to make more money and all of this, when truthfully, I'm just not interested in nobody's life on social media. But people started to call me arrogant and stuck up. And so every other man, except for Kanye West, follow a bunch of people. Me and Kanye was the only ones. I don't know if Gucci Mane like that. I don't know if I remember him. But me and Kanye West was the only one that only followed one person. I don't know who the one person was Kanye followed. But I ain't want to be in the same sentence with Kanye, man. Because that man up. He different and I'm not like that. So I ain't want to be in the same sentence with Kanye. So that's what I did. I started following back influencers who follow me. And a lot of people don't understand, like, this is still business. So if it's somebody with 100,000 or more followers and they follow me, and I see that, I want to follow them back because I want them to consume my message and then take my message and share it with their audience. Because if they not a messenger, I want them to take my message and share it. And now that extends my reach. And so that's also part of business. Do I look at people pages? No. I don't go on social media to look at people pages and look at what they got going on. But and the reason why I did it, my son had me do it. He was like, Dad, go and just click your followers, click A, scroll through all the influencers, follow them back. So I set a thing like X amount of followers or more, because I just didn't want to follow everybody, because I made that mistake on Twitter because people was calling me arrogant and stuck up on Twitter because I wasn't following nobody. And that's not me. Anybody who know me know that I am the most humble person. I ain't never told nobody no to a picture. I ain't never told nobody no to, like, if they just stop want to talk. I ain't never told nobody no. As far as me talking to somebody, engaging with somebody, anybody know me, I am the most giving, loving, humble person you ever gonna meet. Now, I'm real and direct. And if you trying to get over and use me, I'm gonna tell you no. Or if I can't do it, I'm gonna tell you no. But anything I can do, I'm gonna do it. And so much to the point I can't even speak on it. And so I went on Twitter and I clicked followers, and I just spent as long as I could till I was drained, just clicking follow, 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 follow. I didn't look at who I was following. I ain't pay no attention to it. And guess what? I had no clue that it was a bunch of gay men following me. It was a bunch of porn stars following me who post their porn on their Twitter timeline. It was a bunch of strippers follow me. It was escorts follow me. And so when I hit follow, I go on my Twitter timeline sometime and I will see shaft going in and out of a woman. But I know. I'm like, what in the world? I clicked on it. I'm following this person because I followed back over 50,000 people. And so it break my heart, but I got to hit unfollow. I went on there one time and I had them followed back a man who I think he do in the industry. And I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, baby, why do these people follow me? She say, well, they need motivation too. A lot of these people is just battling spiritually, and they know what they doing is wrong, and they follow you for to make them feel like they got some light in their darkness, some light in their life. And I'm like, man, I hate to be that way, but I don't want this stuff on my timeline. So as I started to see Dangalang and Ina and Open Buddha Hole and all this, I had to unfollow them because I realized people will go and they'll see this porn star and they'll see followed by Tony Gaskins, and I didn't realize that people was like, oh, he followed her, because I think a lot of people look at social media personally and they take it personal, so they probably thinking that I know who I'm following and that I intentionally followed this person, and that was not the case. And so in this right here, I started to learn this and I started to see and I started to learn more about these spirits and start to address and be able to kind of see what's going on out here. And this where I started to see how this current society we in, we got a lot of men who are porn babies, and it is deteriorating and destroying their life, and they completely addicted to it. They completely addicted to it. Now I'm gonna tell you, the reason why I don't watch porn is the same reason why I don't smoke weed. It's because I understand the addictive power of it. It's not that I don't want to. Like human nature, you might want to watch your little porn. You might want to smoke your little weed, but I understand addiction and how addiction works. AT, ball out now, 150%, all right? Go hard now. Don't take no prisoners. And I understand the addiction. Why? Because I grew up around addicts. I grew up around addicted aunties, addicted uncles on both sides of my family. My daddy had siblings that was addicted. My mama had siblings that was addicted. And then I had, along the way, I had friends started to get addicted to stuff. And so me seeing this addiction, I became very, very cautious. And I started to see what type of stuff really put a hook in people to where they can't come off of it. And marijuana was the first one. And I seen that as a gateway drug. And if people don't go further, just them being so addicted to it to where it consumed their life, I ain't want no parts of that. And then pornography, I started to see that with men. But then I also started to see how that porn, like even though I was out there physically, it didn't affect me the way porn was affecting men. Because when you out there physically, you in sin and it's stupid, but it's much harder because you got to open your mouth and shoot your shot. Then you got the court, like you got to go somewhere. You got to go out to eat, or you got to find somewhere to go, apartment, do something. You got to shoot shot. You got to talk. Like, so it's harder. It's so many things you got to get through before you get down in that bed or in the back seat of that car, wherever you at. And that make it a lot harder because with that come a lot of rejection. A lot of women, oh, I got a boyfriend, or I got a boyfriend, or I got a boyfriend, or women, you get back down to it. Nah, I ain't ready for that. Nah, I don't want to do that. Now I'm a period on. Now I'm this. So, but you never get turned down with porn. If a man go to that porn, that porn, that video never going to say, I got a headache. That video never going to say, I got a stomach ache. That video never going to say my period on. That video never going to say I ain't like that. That video never gonna say I ain't ready for that. So it's instant gratification. And that's what's happening to these boys, and that's why they're delusional. That's why they cannot see right from left, up from down. They cannot see real from fake because it desensitizes you. So this is why these men are painting their nails. I guarantee you, every man who paint his nails watch porn. I guarantee you. Every single quote-unquote heterosexual man who paint his nails watch porn. I would guarantee probably every gay man that paint his nails watch porn too, because that's probably how he became gay, from watching porn or getting touched on as a youth. But I'm telling you, these men that's in these situationships and these relationships that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, nobody using common sense will be in these type of relationships, I guarantee they watch porn. And a lot of these guys not only watch porn, but they're addicted to something. They're addicted to marijuana or nicotine or pills. And this addiction, this drug of porn or whatever it is, it becomes so powerful, it take over and it ruin their life. Take over and they ruin their life. So this here young man, I ain't really necessarily just talking about them, but y'all sent me this, so I was using their name to teach these other lessons. But you got to realize and understand this. And I'm gonna look at the young man's name, so I should have a name in the title by the time this right here come out. So I think it's Jalen Green, but forgive me now, cause I know it's a Jeff Green in the NBA, so forgive me if I said the wrong name. But and even the young man, it's like you go through stuff to where people always calling, like a lot of guys who look like him, they'll tease him and call him a pretty boy, say this and that, and they'll do all this and that. So sometimes them words have power, and it'll start to make them guys start to feel sassy. My son was telling me something about, I think he was saying it's a trend online talking about sassy man, or it's either sassy man epidemic or spicy man epidemic. Like, have you heard about it? Like, no, son, I don't go on TikTok, man. Unless your mama send me a TikTok, I don't go on TikTok. I got a TikTok. I can't get my name. I got Tony Gaskins Jr. Official. That's my TikTok. But I don't go on there. It's just too toxic for me, man. Too toxic, crazy stuff on there. But that's what he was telling me. So I'm going to learn about that, and I'm going to talk about that sassy man. But I'm going to tell you why these men getting sassy. It all go back to porn. If you a man and you driving your truck or you doing whatever and you done listen to this video, stop watching that porn. Stop watching that porn. And hire you somebody to punch you in the eye. If you got to watch that porn and you get to where you start shaking and you start foaming at the mouth, you start sweating, you start like about to lose your mind, hire you somebody to punch you in the eye. Just get somebody, give them a boxing glove, and just say, hey, man, every time I call you, man, come over here and just punch me. Just swing on me, bro. I'm giving you the permit. You need something to knock something out you. You need something to be knocked out you. I ain't talking literal now, because listen, I got to clarify that. I'm not being literal. Some people will literally go get somebody to punch them in the face. I'm telling you now, I know that sound crazy, but I get on these coaching calls and people say, well, on your video, you said this. So I've been doing, I'm like, that wasn't for you. That wasn't even real. Listen, I have a sense of humor. A real comedian tell jokes without laughing at the joke. A lot of what I say be sense of humor. It be serious, but it's still a sense of humor. That's why my son, when I'm talking to him, he be cracking up laughing. And he thinking that I'm telling a joke, but really I put comedic timing in my talks intentionally. So he be laughing and he think he laughing at me. He don't understand that I know the twang that I'm saying it with and the way that I'm saying it and the energy that I'm saying it, making it sound funny. But it's like putting candy with medicine. That's all it is. I just gave y'all some game. This ain't something that you could try to do. It's just you got it or you don't. It ain't necessarily something that could be taught. Don't try to be funny. If you gonna be funny, you gonna be funny. It's just that's gonna be God given. If somebody gonna laugh, they gonna laugh. But and sometimes they laugh ain't got nothing to do with you either. Like you could be trying to be funny, and not be funny, and you could not try to be funny and be funny. But it sometimes got to do with a person's sense of humor and just where they heart and they spirit at. So understand that right there, y'all. Don't take everything I say literal now. If you think it's literal and you confused by this literal, you need to sign up for a session. And I was talking to somebody the other day. She said, you said on your videos that you can't take everything literal and that you talk in general and you need to talk to you before you make a change in your life. She's like, I'm so glad because had I just applied my situation to what you said in your videos, I'd be doing a complete opposite of what you just told me on this session. And so you got to realize it ain't no broad stroke. Like, yeah, you got to talk in generalities for the sake of conversation and talking on here. I can't talk about too much specific because then nobody will be able to relate to it if it's too focused and specific. So understand that this is general stuff. So get out your feelings if I'm talking about something and you are an exception to the rule. So if you a 50-year-old woman and your husband is 35 and y'all met and didn't know each other age and he thought you was his age and y'all started talking and y'all hit it off and your age come out at the end of the hour, 2 hour, 3 hour conversation and then he find out but he like you so much, y'all hit it off, that's called an exception to the rule. This don't apply to you. What did I just say? This don't apply to you. I get tired of people coming on here with general teaching messages and sharing their exception to the rule as if it's the rule and being so butthurt that my video don't have their narrative. That ain't what they buy. That ain't what they buy. It's for the masses. So hey, this Tony Gasson, God bless you. My son just went to his second training today. Go on my Instagram and look at my story where he cooked himself for dinner. But there's something else. So he had him a nice little protein filled dinner. Now he going to do his other training. He trained earlier today with the U19s. Then he training today with his age group, 16, 17. He's 16 still. Hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.